piece I'll show you today is a recording from a live concert in Lebanon, who we continue to watch. We're pulling for them, the Lebanese people. It's a group led by Sharbel Rohana, who's an oud player, also professor or instructor in the conservatoire in the Lebanese college. It's very Arabic style, but it's arranged kind of neatly between just a few instruments. You'll notice the rek, which is the tambourine, of course the oud player, played by Sharbel. There's two violinists with him and an accordion, which is very dominant in the Arabic music. The name of the piece is Hikayat Kol Yom, which means everyday story, by Sharbel Rohana.
Welcome back to BelAhdan. As we talked before about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, it's been with us for a while, and a lot of people are trying to kind of try to understand the nature of this conflict and in the context of what's going on in Iraq and the Middle East, and what President Bush now is the champion of democracy all of a sudden. And so the Jewish community and the Arab community here in the Twin Cities how this community getting along and how the communication, what they are doing to try to get these views of the Palestinian and Israelis understood to their respected community. We have Father David Smith with the University of St. Thomas, and he's heading a group that they try to bridge that conflicts and the views between the Palestinians and Israelis, and bring it here to our community in the Twin Cities, and kind of open a dialogue for more understanding between the Palestinians and the Israelis. Welcome to BelAhdan, Father David. Very nice of you here, and I always am impressed, and you know, I get really interested and curious about the people who believe in something and they do something about it. I mean, I'm sure you have other things to do, and you travel to, and also I understand that you're going to Gaza at the end of the year, and you know, millions of people, they get up every morning and they eat breakfast and go to work or go to McDonald's and come home, watch Desperate Wives, and they just let bygone bygone. But your group, tell us a little bit about your group, and what are they trying to do?
Well, a year ago, St. Thomas brought in Hanan Ashrawi to speak on the issues of Israel-Palestine, and some people complained that that was one-sided and asked that we try to broaden out the conversation. So our group is an effort for St. Thomas to broaden out the conversation. Pardon me. And we're working on bringing in some speakers to speak on other sides of the issue besides Hanan Ashrawi's side of the issue. We're trying to get a balance, but we're also trying to represent voices that are important voices, even if one or another member of our community or our audience may not agree with them. And that's, of course, the reason we brought in Hanan Ashrawi in the first place. We know that she's a controversial figure. Some people really like her, and some people don't. So we're trying to express the various points of view on the issue.
You know, that's very, very interesting. Very, you know, and that also the issue of, you know, access and presentation. You know, we you know, as a you know, an education institution like University of St. Thomas, my understanding, they give you know, voices to the people who really don't have access to the other media, mainstream media, and obviously the Palestinian story hasn't really been told in the mainstream media as it should, and it's been presented, mispresented. So
yes.
My understanding is when you bring somebody like you know, Hanan Ashrawi, I don't know how controversial she is. I mean, she's a champion of peace and wants negotiation, and so you know, is this a fair assessment that yes, we brought Hanan Ashrawi, we should bring an opposing view? You know, in the mainstream is taking care of that, the mainstream media.
Well, the first thing to say is that when we're dealing with something as painful as the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, we're dealing with a lot of wounded people who have suffered greatly in their lives. And perhaps you don't have to start by asking, is this speaker or that speaker fair? What we're trying to do is to raise the issues, a whole variety of issues, and to try to understand how someone sees it from another point of view. Now, it's difficult to get into someone else's head and someone else's heart and someone else's history, and to understand what's driving their choices. But that's what we're trying to do, both for Palestinians and for Jews.
And you know, that from there is no other single issue that's been paid attention